Simmons, uncontested, had a layup, but he leaves it for Thibault, who makes something out of it and is headed to the line.
We've all seen the infamous Ben Simmons play when he passed up a layup in the face of the scariest defender in history, Trae Young. We've all seen the sheer stupidity of J.R. Smith having a complete brain lapse. While these decisions were horrendous, let's take a look at 6 different victims of plays that were so damaging to their mentality that they permanently ended their careers for good. Or they saw their games regress so much they were no longer getting minutes because nobody had faith in them anymore. And I'll go into detail why their careers were over, just like that. And before we start, I'd like to give a shout out to a brand new sponsor of this channel, Bear Mattress. A premium fiberglass-free mattress designed to improve your sleep and quality of life, shipped straight to your doorstep. How do you get started exactly? Well, first, you should take Bear's sleep quiz. Answer a couple questions and it'll match you with the perfect mattress based on your body type and your sleep preference. I got matched with the Elite Hybrid. My wife and I, and our kitty, are all huge fans of softer mattresses, and that's what we got. We've had it for several weeks now, and it's just so much more comfortable and cooling than any bed we've ever had before. And we've got a consistent full night's sleep every single day since then. Not just that, but living in Texas, you know how hot it gets. So we've been looking for a mattress that keeps us cool, and this hits the spot. Due to Bear's sleep recovery technology, it uses a Celiant-powered fabric to help you stay cool through the whole night. You know, it's so convenient to have a mattress delivered to your doorstep with free shipping in a compact form. You just gotta open it up and let it expand, which doesn't take long. But if it does make you nervous about buying something you've never tried, Bear has a 120-night sleep trial. So you get more than 3 months to make sure you love it, and if not, you can return it for a refund. If you're looking to upgrade your sleep, head to bearmattress.com/AndyHoops and use code AndyHoops to get 40% off your Bear mattress. This is higher than what is being offered on site, so check it out while you can. Victim 1, Denzel Valentine. April 24th, 2021. What better way to start this video than with a player who's his own worst nightmare?
No.
Oh my goodness, Valentine!
No,
Whoa, no!
No.
That is not the shot
No.
at that moment. Oh my God, no!
Man, I mean, he's by the hash. That's Steph Curry range right there. Come on.
Not in a 2-possession game when you've worked this hard to get back in it. You can get a better shot.
Right after this laughably bad shots and the Bulls lost the game, Denzel Valentine stated, "I had made 3 in a row before that. It was a bad shot. I just kind of got lost in the game." I mean, you heard the announcers. This was arguably the dumbest shot of the entire season, but it sums up Valentine's time on the Bulls. After they lost the game, Coach Billy Donovan essentially pulled him from the rotation for a little bit. He was averaging 18 minutes off the bench for the entire year leading up to that shot. But afterwards, it was followed by a 10-minute game, then a 2-minute game, actually several games where he played fewer than 2 minutes. He became a garbage time player. What's even funnier is that was his last productive season in the NBA, if you can even call that productive. Bulls fans hated watching him, but they had no other choice but to persevere through this tumultuous time in Chicago. Right after the season concluded, Valentine, unsurprisingly, got waived. While he probably was never an NBA caliber player to begin with, this proved to be the final straw. Over his 4 years with the team, he's had some good games, but there's a reason everyone was so fed up with him. Fans only remember him for the most boneheaded mistakes, and this moment, this single play, turned out to be the final brain lapse he'd ever have in Chicago. Shortly after, he got picked up by the Cavs off waivers, then traded to Utah when they realized how bad he actually was. And that was it. Valentine's final NBA game would be on January 16th, 2022. Just 9 months after this catastrophic airball. Victim number 2, Shaun Bradley. Who can forget Shaun Bradley, listed at 7'6", one of the tallest players to ever grace the NBA court and a former number 2 overall pick. Projected to become a defensive powerhouse in the likes of Ralph Sampson or Dikembe Mutombo. Bradley entered the NBA with lofty expectations that some would say he never came close to reaching. The only NBA-level skills he had were blocking shots and being tall. I mean, I guess that kind of goes hand in hand. but he had zero semblance of an offensive game, and defensively, he really wasn't as good as his block numbers indicated. Due to his lanky frame in an era filled with bruising centers, he couldn't defend most bigs one-on-one either. There's a reason he never made a single all-defensive team. Heck, he wasn't even a good rebounder either, so his height was the only thing keeping him in the league. After bouncing around several teams, Bradley found his home in Dallas, where he remained for 9 seasons as the backup center. But in the playoffs, the increased physicality of the game proved to be too much for him to handle. Thus, he barely saw any action in the postseason in the 9 years he was there. This brings us to the 2005 playoffs.
6'8" from Mount Zion Christian Academy, #1, Tracy McGrady!
The first round matched up the Dallas Mavericks against the newly minted Houston Rockets, led by the highly anticipated duo of Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming. In Game 2 of that series, this happened.
An inspirational move.
Forward fence, and that says a lot. Here comes McGrady. Oh, he just sucked the gravity right out of the building. What a play by T-Mac.
How about the passion? Look at the animation on Tracy McGrady.
Arguably the greatest dunk of T-Mac's career, and the complete annihilation of the 7'6" Bradley. Not only was this dunk heard all the way from Houston, but it also marked the end of Bradley's career, the last ever memory we'll have of him. For instance, after getting dunked on like this, the Mavs did not play Bradley again for the rest of the playoffs with the exception of garbage time minutes. He played 6 minutes that game and basically got DNPs for the next 3 games. T-Mac didn't just suck the gravity out of the building, he also sucked the remaining life out of Bradley's career. At 33 years of age, the Mavs did not renew his contract, though it was for various reasons. They preferred a more up-tempo style of play, and the slow-footed Bradley regressed over the years. His lack of offensive ability stunted the growth of the team, and always hindered them in the playoffs, hence why he never got any minutes when it mattered most. You could say T-Mac finally put him out of his misery. Victim number 3, Armani Brooks. Do you even know who Armani Brooks is? Exactly. On December 22nd, 2021, in a regular season game between the Rockets and Bucks, Armani Brooks was guarding Bucks sophomore Jordan Nwora. And then this happened.
In touch pass, Jordan Nwora.
We've all seen ridiculous ankle breakers, but Nwora literally mocked the way he fell to the ground after hitting the shot, which is something I've never seen before. For Brooks, this was embarrassing to the point of no return. A week before this play even happened, Brooks recently recovered from an ankle injury. I guess you can say his ankles did not heal properly. It's usually an exaggeration to say a player ended somebody's career with a simple crossover, but in this case, it actually happened. A week after this play happened, Brooks started accumulating DNPs and got significantly fewer minutes. The only reason he was getting substantial playing time before was because the Rockets had a plethora of injuries to their guards, and Brooks saw this as an opportunity to stamp his place in the league. While he had a stretch of games where he played ample minutes, 25, 30 plus minutes in several games, the only thing he proved was he did not belong. Unfortunately, his dreams of maintaining a roster spot faded away faster than his jump shot, the part of his game that was supposed to be his strength, and the only reason the Rockets wanted him on the roster. But instead, he shot 34% from the field in 54 games played that season. Nearing the trade deadline, the Rockets couldn't even find any suitors for Brooks because nobody wanted him, so they waived him. Eventually, he got picked off waivers by Toronto, but his career would be over shortly after that. The thing is, the Rockets put a lot of faith in Armani Brooks. At the start of the season, they even converted him into a 2-way contract, and waived several other players to make room for him, including Dante Exum, who's still in the NBA by the way. Yet Brooks is long gone. Then again, so is Jordan Nwora, the guy who crossed him over. I guess neither of them had a good outcome, and this play will forever be etched in NBA lore for the humiliating way Armani Brooks went out. Victim number 4, Wesley Johnson.
With the 4th pick in the 2010 NBA draft, The Minnesota Timberwolves select Wesley Johnson of Syracuse University.
Let's rewind a bit. Back in the 2010 draft, Wesley Johnson was the 4th pick, drafted ahead of guys like DeMarcus Cousins, Greg Monroe, Gordon Hayward, and Paul George. It was surprising at the time. For one, Johnson turned 23 years old before his rookie season started. He was one of many lottery picks the Timberwolves failed to capitalize on. Second, despite being deemed as the most polished and NBA-ready player to pair alongside Kevin Love, he was never great at any particular skill, more like a jack-of-all-trades player who struggled to find his niche in the league. As he got older, however, he tried to carve out a role as a 3-and-D wing player, except he couldn't shoot threes, no matter how much he practiced. This brings us to the 2017-18 season, a very crippled, injury-riddled season for the Clippers, which saw Wesley Johnson average 20 minutes a game because they didn't have any options left. Regardless of his playing time, he was completely ineffective, and his career quickly fading away. On February 28, 2018, James Harden ended him for good.
To work. I thought it was going to be Harden.
Oh, he stared at Wesley Johnson, and then he hits a three. Wow. He put him on the deck.
I don't know what's worse, Harden waiting and staring at him before taking the shots, or the score in the first quarter. Or the Clippers crowd cheering for Harden, because they sure as hell never cheered for Wesley Johnson. In his 3 years with the team, he got more minutes than fans thought he ever should get. Over time, perhaps the Clippers front office thought the same thing, especially after a play like this, where Johnson did not even make the effort to stand back up and contest the shot. Before the next season began, the Clippers traded away Wesley Johnson to the Pelicans in exchange for Alexis Ajinça. Then they immediately waived Ajinça, so basically they only traded Johnson away to get rid of him. Victim number 5, Jason Terry. Now, I'm well aware of the legendary career that Jason Terry had.
Long three. Bang! Jason Terry gives the Mavericks a 7-point lead.
Going from the man in Atlanta in his early days to eventually settling in as one of the greatest sixth men in NBA history. While he won Sixth Man of the Year only once, he was top 3 in voting for 5 consecutive years, and the Mavs' second best player during their championship run. However, his post-Dallas years were quite underwhelming and forgettable. The only thing you might remember is this. Yes, that's a tattoo of the Celtics leprechaun holding the Larry O'Brien trophy. If you recall, Terry actually did the same thing a few years back when the Mavs won the championship, so this wasn't out of the ordinary. A few months before he joined the team, the Celtics were 1 game away from reaching the finals again, where they lost in Game 7 to the Miami Heat. It makes sense that the addition of Jason Terry would provide them with a boost and help them return back to the NBA Finals. Unfortunately though, through a combination of injuries, old age, Ray Allen leaving in free agency, and culminating in Rajon Rondo's torn ACL, it was a disaster of a season for Boston. And they barely made the playoffs and lost in the first round. For Terry, however, the defining moment of his season came at the hands of the king himself.
Defense. Wade from behind takes it away. Chalmers. Cole. James! Whoa!
Prior to this poster on March 18th, Terry was having a good season, 10 points a game with solid shooting. Obviously not as good as his Maverick days, but still highly productive. But after this happened, he fell into a slump that lasted until the season ended. Is this a mere coincidence, or did Terry's psyche get ruined with a single play? But low-key, after getting postered like this, his career never bounced back. Terry's time in Boston only lasted 1 season, and he got traded several times where he spent his twilight years warming the bench. The sad part, he's had such an accomplished career, but if anyone asks you, what do you remember most about Jason Terry after he left Dallas? Well, this poster is the first to come to mind. And finally, victim number 6, Michael Ruffin. Much like Denzel Valentine at the start of the video, Michael Ruffin is a victim of his own stupidity.
Now will the Wizards foul down the floor, and it's a deflection by Ruffin. And the play continues. Peterson got it! I don't believe it! I don't believe it!
one of the most legendary buzzer beaters in history, Morris Peterson inexplicably sent the game to overtime, and the Raptors pulled out the victory in overtime. What exactly do you know about this guy though, Michael Ruffin? Well, in this game against Toronto, he played 25 minutes, which was the most minutes he played the entire season. He scored 0 points and recorded 4 fouls. Yeah, 25 minutes was probably a bit too much for him to handle. Even the coaches realized it too. In the following games, he played 2 minutes, 0 minutes, 2 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, followed by a bunch of DNPs towards the end of the season. In reality, his career was already hanging on by a thread. In that season, Michael Ruffin appeared in 30 games for the Wizards and averaged a pitiful 28% from the field. After the season concluded, Ruffin played just 58 more NBA games before unofficially retiring. In fact, Ruffin became so infamous for this single moment that it's actually on his Wikipedia page. Like, imagine having a near decade-long career, yet this is the moment everyone remembers about you. That's gotta suck. Anyway, that's all folks. Those were 6 times a single play ended these guys' careers. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts, and can you think of any other players who can fit this criteria? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and of course, as always, I'll see you next time. Peace.